So what is Race the Sun? Well, it's a 3D runner by FlipFi LLC, in which you basically have a sort of stop the clock mode, endless mode. You're expected to get as far as you can before the sun goes down and your solar craft runs out of energy. So to begin with, we have a few different modes. Now I've only unlocked one. I only have the initial one. I haven't unlocked the other two, so I'm not sure what they do. But I've played the game for about an hour and a half now, and it is very minimalist, which is a good thing in a way. So basically you start out here in a very geometric 3D landscape. The game uses Unity, and you're basically required to dodge objects and collect as many of these blue pyramids as possible. Ooh, almost got hit there. Now, from time to time, that bird, as you'll see right ahead of me, will fly ahead and drop. Okay, I crashed. Now, one of the most jarring aspects of the game is when you crash, because you're floating along there, you know, and just sort of zoning out, and all of a sudden, so yeah, that can make you jump. Now, how the leveling system works, this is as good a time as any to explain it, is you have a little progress bar to fill there on the right side of the screen, and you gain experience, in air quotes, by completing these somewhat arbitrary missions, such as do a barrel roll 20 times in one run, which I found to be very hard for me. As you can see, it gives the most XP, and the least giving XP is the one on the top, which is travel distance of 30,000 whatever in the air. And completing each of those will give you experience, which will allow you to level up. Leveling up, it gives you more power-ups for your ship. You can equip one or the other, and also it might unlock something later on. I don't know. The game seems to support the whole achievements are stupid aspect to it, whereas, you know, you're playing just for the enjoyment of the game rather than for the achievements. It's an approach that Don't Starve took, if you're familiar with that game. So that's sort of what you can expect with Race the Sun. Let's retry. Now they have a little axiom. What are those things called? Mnemonics? No. So you can see the sun in the sky, and basically all I'm expected to do is dodge all the pyramids. I like to call them geometric shapes because they're not overly detailed. I'm going to stay out from underneath that cloud because if there was no sun, I'll slow down. And this is a game where time really matters, because if you take too long to get to a stage, the sun will set and then you'll die from the sun setting. Your solar craft will just run out of juice and blow up. Now I'm using a controller. Whoa! Woo! I'm using a controller to play this game. I've tried it with the keyboard, and I prefer the controller. It's a Logitech G something or other. It's the cheap one with the cord, and it works like a champ. So I have no complaints there. This game plays quite well on the PC with a regular controller. I consider the Logitech to be a regular controller. Okay, things are getting a little more intense here, and as you can see, they're introducing more moving elements into the game world. Now the power-ups, right there, I hit the yellow star. That allows me, that resets the sun a little bit, and also it makes the craft go faster for a short amount of time. The method of scoring in this game, it requires you to pick up those blue. I'm just gonna see. I just jumped. I used my jumping power up, and I was able to fly right over that barrier. Now I just picked up another power up. The interesting thing about power ups is that You can only hold one at a time unless you have a certain perk for it. So you have to be... so far I've only unlocked a jumping one. There might be another one. I don't know. Now things are getting even a little bit more challenging. Oh, I died. So, let's see here. I did not travel. I did not make any of my goals. My arbitrary goals. But death. Inevitable, yet unexpected. So true. I cleared 2 regions. Now, the interesting thing about this game, I find, is that they reset the world every day. Another 2 hours for me and the world will be reset, which means it completely changes up things, meaning that if you play the game a lot, you won't get bored. You won't get bored with the way the setup is. You won't memorize it in that sense. It'll be something new to come back to every day. So it's really a game that's best played in short periods. Just something you would sit down and play for 30 minutes a day. Nothing more. You're not going to sort of binge on it and play it for 3 hours on end unless you're trying to hit some high score in the leaderboard. Now, the game also ships with a level editor. I haven't used the level editor really, but I did create a file called Unnamed World. And it's a simple editor, I believe, but I really haven't tried it. You can sort of create your own geometric shapes as well. And there is a tutorial for it, so you shouldn't have too much trouble. How do I get out of here? Okay, there we go. You shouldn't have too much trouble figuring out how to use it. I believe it's pretty simple. The workshop allows you to install user-created content, I believe, obstacle courses, and we'll take a look at the options. There is nothing too sophisticated here. You have basically music and effects options. I do like the music in the game. It's got a real zoning beat to it, I guess I would describe it as. You can just sit there and sort of thoughtlessly, it's like watching television in some ways. But, to each their own. Yeah, so I like the music. The music was good. Just so there was no misunderstanding on that. You can toggle between full screen and a windowed mode. And then you can remap all the actions. Now, the actions are pretty simple, so there isn't a whole lot to remap, mostly left down upright. Right now I'm using a joystick to navigate this. The analog joystick setup seems to work very well for controlling the craft. You really get that fine-tuned sense of control over it. So that's... the game does boast full controller support, and so far I've experienced nothing to contradict that. The game did crash once when I clicked on this version 1.44 released. Other than that, it's been solid as a rock. So, no stability issues there. The game is, I believe, you can buy it DRM free on their page as well, in case you're not into Steam, but seeing as how I'm doing these reviews for Steam, not for Steam, I'm doing these reviews for my Steam curator group, so you'll probably be getting it on Steam. So, anyway, I think that pretty much takes care of everything I wanted to cover. Race the Sun is a simple game. It is not overly complex. There really is no nuance to it. It's very straightforward, and yet it's very compelling. It's very fun to play for short periods of time, and I definitely recommend it. So if you have a chance, go check it out. I got it in a Humble Bundle, I believe it was, but it's available on Steam and other fine retailers. So for your consideration, ladies and gentlemen, Race the Sun. Thank you for watching, and until next time, farewell.